your mind up. And you need help. So what do? How do you handle the problem? Here's my favorite story. I got two favorite stories. The first one is this lady, she couldn't sleep. She'd stay up at night. She'd been married with this guy, and they moved into a new house. And as soon as they moved into a new house, she stayed up all night worried about somebody robbing her house. Somebody's going to rob our house. Somebody's going to rob our house. Where's the alarm? Do we have an alarm? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? So finally, one night, they heard something going on downstairs. Guess what they did? The man went downstairs, and he found, guess what he found? A burglar. And when he looked at the burglar, he walked out, he said, don't worry, guy. I just need to take you upstairs and introduce you to my wife. She's been looking for you for 10 years. 10 years. That's what worry does. Worry robs you of your joy. Worry robs you of your peace. Worry robs you of your love. Worry robs you of all kinds of stuff because you worry about everything and don't pray about anything. The word worry is the word, not maranatha, but marahoya. It means a divided mind. You divide your mind between dangerous thoughts and imminent thoughts. Things that you need to work on, you don't work on. We work on the dangerous stuff that we never will fix anyway. That's why Paul says, don't worry about anything, but pray about what? Everything. What are you worried about? Most of us worry about health and wealth. You've already lost your stock market. No, you haven't. I've been watching it. It goes up 200 points. It comes down 500. It goes up 400. It goes down 200. It's like this. If you work on the stock market, you'd die. You'd be dead right now. Some of you are going, what's the stock market? That's okay. Health and wealth. Most of us are worried right now about health. We got our masks. We got our gloves. We got everything else. We got the aisle Nazis at Food Lion telling you which way to go. Have you met any of the aisle Nazis yet? Well, they're good. I had one good friend. He works at Food Lion on Glenwood. Y'all probably didn't know I'm from Glenwood. But I went to, and Jesse was up there, and he was working at the produce section, and all of a sudden I was coming this way, and he said, no, you got to go that way, bud. You got to go that way. I said, Jesse, I'm on my way this way, buddy. You can get up off of your eggs if you want to, but I'm not going to stop going that way. The aisle Nazis. Isn't it amazing what we're worried about now? Going the wrong way in the food line or Walmart, and we can't figure out what's going on. What are you worried about? God says, don't worry about anything, but pray about everything. What did Jesus say to Mary? Mary, why are you worried about frivolous stuff? Focus on the main thing. Make the main thing the main thing. Here's your answer. Look at me for just a minute. If you will stop focusing on trivial stuff and focus on the Father, gaze at God and glance at your circumstances, then you will never worry. But if you gaze at your circumstances and glance at God, you will always worry. The reason why we don't worry is because we don't trust our daddy. That's what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6. If you write that down and go back and look it up, Matthew chapter 6 says, why are you worried? The birds don't worry. The flowers don't worry. Why are you worried? Doesn't God the Father take care of your Father? He doesn't say the birds' Father. He says, doesn't God, your Father, take care of the birds? Don't you think he'll take care of you? Don't you think he'll take care of you? So trust your daddy. Here's what Debbie Parrish says about mission trips. Gwen, you know what a mission trip is? A mission trip is you get in a big plane and you drive to a little country and you fly in a little plane to a little bitty spot in that little country. Debbie Parrish says two things. If I have to take my own toilet paper, I ain't going to a mission trip. And if I have to fly in a little plane, I ain't going to a mission trip. She likes a big plane because she trusts a big plane. She doesn't trust little planes. She trusts big planes. You know why? She's got little faith in little planes. And some of you do too, don't you? And so here's the key. We have a great God. How great is our God? He can handle any circumstance that you come in this world. Let me remind you one thing before we close. Here's the last thing. This world is not our home. We're only passing through. Everybody's getting ready to die. The moment you were born, you're ready to die. We don't know how long it's going to be before we die. You realize that? You remember that? And so take some time today. Don't worry about anything. Pray about everything. And what will happen is the presence of God will show up. And the peace of God will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. Last thing I want to say is this. Do you remember who wrote this book? The Apostle Paul. Do you remember where he was? He was in prison. Do you remember what happened to him that night? They threw him in prison, and all of a sudden an earthquake happened. Do you know why the earthquake happened? Because they started singing in heaven. Y'all hear me? They started singing. And what happened was God was listening to them sing. And while he was listening to them sing, you see my right foot? God started tapping his foot on Philippi. And there happened an earthquake. And an earthquake came. And when the earthquake came, the doors were open, and all the prisoners could have left, but they didn't leave because the jailer came in and was getting ready to kill himself, and Paul said, hey, wait a minute, wait. It's okay. We're all here. And then he said, what? What must I do to be saved? What were they singing that night? Is everybody ready? Everybody ready to sing? Here's a song we sang when I was 3, 4, 5 years old. You ready to sing with me? I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Y'all supposed to say what word? Where? I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart. Down in my heart. I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. Now here's my favorite verse. You ready? And if the devil doesn't like it, he can sit on a tack. Ow! Ready? If the devil doesn't like it, he can sit on a tack. Ow! Sit on a tack. Ow! Sit on a tack. And if the devil doesn't like it, he can sit on a tack. Ow! Sit on a tack to stay. Here's the last verse. You ready? I've got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart. Down in my heart. Down in my heart. I got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. What a great day. Thank y'all for singing. You sounded good. Some of you sounded good. That's why we didn't let the old people sing. We didn't let the bassists sing. That's right. 2 things. When you leave out today, some of you are new here today, we let you